everyone, it's Nicole. I'm very happy to share a project with you all over at Simon Says Stamp today. And I'm going to be using Holiday 2013 card kit. This kit is amazing, has awesome products, and I like to keep mine into a 12 by 12 zip bag so that I can make sure all the contents are all together. I'm starting with Basil Marshmallow cardstock as a card base. I cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and I scored at 4.25. And after that, I am running my Teflon bone folder to give a nice crisp edge. I love this tool because it doesn't leave a shine on the paper. And I cut a strip of Basil Peppermint cardstock, and I will be using Holiday Border stem set that's come with the kit. This one is one of the 2 stem sets that you get. So I cut the strip about 3 3/4 inch tall, and this is 8.5 long. And I chose a row of snowflake stem set from the set and inking it up with Versamark ink pad. I am going to be stamping along the whole edge of the cardstock piece and will be embossing it to give a nice contrast compared to the red color of the cardstock I'm using over here. So after I'm done inking it up, I am pouring my white embossing powder over the stamped area, and this white snowflake image will stand out nicely compared to the cardstock base over here. And when I use my heat tool to prevent or to help with the warping, I always like to hit on the back side of the card piece a little bit. So after I'm done, I attach the stamped piece with snail adhesive on the bottom of the card base and cut out the extra piece. Here I'm using one of the 5 pattern cardstock that you get. This is nice snowflake image. I'm cutting this at 3 3/4 by 5.5. This has a really thick cardstock style, so this will be great for card base as well for any of your projects. Here I'm using peppermint stripe stencil from the kit, using one of my scrap Basil Marshmallow cardstock, and I will be doing some background for my sentiment piece. I want some soft, natural look, and I thought this background would be perfect for my sentiment piece. So here, I'm securing the stencil with post-it tape. This is perfect when you use like waffle thin dies or framelits or stencil like this. It's perfect to secure your project materials. Here I'm using sponge dauber, and I am taking soft lift from Hero Art Shadow Ink Pad Collection, and I'm going to be inking it up with the sponge dauber and just daubing on top of the stencil to give a nice soft background look for my sentiment area. When working with Hero Art Shadow Inks collection, you might see that when you first stamp on it, it might look splotch, but once it dry, it'll dry nice and smooth, so it looks really good. Here is the finished look for my sentiment area, and I'm going to be using the Holiday Hellos stamp set from the kit as well. Here I'm taking 2 greetings from the set. The first one I'll be using is called From Our House to Yours. I'm going to ink it up with Hero Art Shadow ink called Charcoal. This is one of their mid-tone colors. The reason why I chose this one is because this greeting is really tiny, so I wanted to pop it out with a darker color to contrast with our background. And I'm taking another greeting called Holiday Hello, and I'm going to ink it up with Red Royal, also from the mid-tone collection from Hero Art Shadow Ink. I'm going to go right on the bottom of our tiny sentiment that we stamped. So it looks really cute. I love how it looks. So I trimmed it down and cutting it diagonally on the left side of it. I wanted to do a bow, but I changed my mind. So that's how it's gonna go on top. Before attaching everything, I'm going to be using Jelly Bean Soap twine that's included in the kit. I am taking out this brown and white twine collection and loop it around for twice on this snowflake layer and tie a small bow on the left side of the layer. Cut it nicely to trim it down, and then I will be attaching this on top of the card base. So here I am using foam adhesive, and this is a thick card layer, so I wanted to make sure I use plenty of adhesive to put it down nicely onto the card base. For sentiment, I used also foam strips to go on the top and bottom portion of the sentiment attached onto the card base. So we're almost done. As our finishing touch, I'm going to take this wafer thin die, also included in the kit. This is called Ashland Snowflake. I'm cutting it twice with marshmallow cardstock and pop it out nicely. So here I'm going to ink it up evenly on all surfaces of the die cut with a Versamark ink pad. I'm going to do some embossing. So after I ink everything up, I'm going to pour silver embossing powder to make sure all the area is covered. And after I tap everything out, I'm going to melt it with my heat gun. So as you can see, it's going to melt nicely and be a nice shimmery snowflake for our card base. Here I'm using Tombow Mono Multi Glue to attach the snowflake piece. I already attached the first one right on top of the sentiment, and attaching the second snowflake piece to go on the right top corner of the sentiment. So as you can see, this card has lots of different elements and kind of coordinates together as a color scheme as well. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope this gave you some inspiration to take out your holiday card kit from Simon Says Stamp. And I thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.